Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today on September 14th. It's with a heavy heart that we have our podcast today honoring Charlie Kirk and his passing. Um, I know our whole nation, um, many of the health freedom advocates, many of the doctors that we all know and cherish and work with are all mourning. And I know I've been mourning this week. Um, and so I just wanted to honor Charlie Kirk today and share how he has made a difference in my life and share some videos that were very inspirational that I have seen, showing how he also made a difference in other people's lives. And I'm going to start by reading a scripture that I thought was suitable for Charlie. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they will not overflow you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be scorched, nor the flame burn you. Isaiah 43:2. And that is the courage that Charlie walked with, and his purpose and his closeness to God. These are the things that we need to think about and remember him by. So I wanted to start too by how I got to meet Charlie Kirk. Last October 2024, Charlie Kirk came to the University of Nevada, Reno. And I can say that the state of Nevada, nor the university, nor the police department, nobody said anything about Charlie Kirk being in Nevada. I was sitting at my desk. I'm also an employee there. I'm a person with 10 hats. I work all kinds of different jobs in the health freedom movement. I spend so much time, hours, my own money to try to bring purpose to my life and to fight for our freedom, to fight for our children's freedom. And that's what Charlie is doing. And so they're censoring, just like I talk about, they censor me. I am nowhere on the level of Charlie Kirk, and they still censor me. So I can only imagine what Charlie Kirk was dealing with and going through. The universities censor all red Republicans. They only push the blue Republicans. They only push people that are going to be going for vaccines. The professors that are going to push vaccines, the professors that are going to push all of the blue ideology, and they shut everything red down. And so when Charlie Kirk came to the University of Nevada, Reno in October 2024, I was sitting at my desk working, full of work. They always make us full of work, so we have no time to be involved in with what's going on. And that's why you have to make the extra time in your life. And, priorities matter right now. So I did. I do. I make that extra time in my daily life to go against the hate and push what's good and fight for our children's future, because it is so important. And they are on the brink of not being able to have any of the things that we've been able to enjoy in our life. And that's what Charlie also knew. And so I'm sitting at my desk, normal day, not have any idea that Charlie Kirk is coming to our university that I worked at, that I still do work at, actually. And all of a sudden I get a message saying, do you know who Charlie Kirk is? He's here at the university. And I'm like, what? I kind of know about Charlie Kirk, not fully. I didn't know at that time, like I wasn't involved in his movement. So I didn't know what he was doing. And that's probably also because of censorship. And so I remember, and then they're like, he's down here at the quad, you got to come. And I was so busy in my work and I almost didn't go. And then the overwhelming feeling of a promise that I have, with Jesus is that you shall open the door in my life and I shall walk through that door. And so that promise came into my mind when I was thinking, well, I'm not going to go walk up there. It's a 10-minute walk too in the hot sun. Um, and I'm so busy. It'll be okay not to go this time. And then that promise that I have made to Jesus came into my heart. And so I said, you know what? No, Jesus, you're giving me this opportunity. I need to walk through that door because that's the promise I made. And so I dropped everything I was doing at work. I got up, I walked up, and I can tell you, I was pleasantly surprised to see so many students, so many people from the community, because our university is a public campus, so anybody can come on campus. There were so many people in red hats everywhere. And so I was like, wow, there's tons of people here. This is so awesome to see. It was so great to see. And so I waited to hear what people were saying. And like I said, it was really hot that day here in Nevada, even in October. It was really hot. So my opinion of Charlie Kirk, just listening before I got to speak with him, is that he asked multiple times to speak with people that disagreed with him. So it was just, that was like very different from what I'm seeing, others, like, at events, or we were normally comfortable and we go and talk to the groups that are agreeing with us or the people that agree with us. And that was not Charlie Kirk's style. He wanted to talk with people that disagreed. And then to hear him talk with people that disagreed, that just the way he communicated with people. And then, he made the students realize that what are their morals and values, and then talk through that with them. And then those students would come to the realization, like, wait a second, we don't agree with being forced to do these things. We don't agree with everything, the propaganda, with the lies, with the vaccines. We don't agree with this stuff. And then, so that's why Charlie Kirk was so effective at what he did, is because he made the students realize that, what's really going on in the world. Am I actually under this type of brainwashing where I'm just thinking things and believing in things because I'm told to? Or am I actually doing a little research behind that and seeing what's really going on? That's a clear thing of what's happening right now. If you're pushing hate or pushing something to the end, why is that? Is it because you're being told to? Is it because the majority is? Have you done any research on what you're so hardcore to the core about? And I could tell you the things that I'm hardcore to the core about, which you could go to my playlist and see what those things are. There's tons of research there as well to support and back that up. And so that's, that's what we got to just keep on doing as well. And that's how we also honor Charlie Kirk and his family. And it all starts with prayer and Jesus. And I can say that there are some beautiful things also that I learned about Charlie Kirk, watching everybody do their memorials on their podcast and talk about him, which I'm so grateful for, to hear all of you guys. I learned that he kept the Sabbath. And so he wasn't a Seventh-day Adventist, but he kept the Sabbath. And so from Friday night until Saturday night, his phone was off and he was honoring Jesus. Some other wonderful things that I learned, he was in his I think he was 18 or someone really young when he started. The true is it Truth Point? Turning Point. Turning Point USA. He was like 18 when he started that. That is just so miraculous and amazing. And so it's so encouraging to everybody that is young out there. Your voice does make a difference. All of our voices make a difference. Everything we do makes a difference. And so that's a question that I have for each and every one of you too. And it's a question that I ask myself. What am I doing to contribute to our world being a better place? What am I doing to contribute to bringing people closer to Christ? What am I doing to contribute to make this a better place for not only my daughter, but for all of our children, for generations to come? And, when I pray about that, and then you ask Jesus to open doors for you, he does. And it's up to you to walk through. Then you walk through these doors and you keep going, you keep praying, and Jesus will keep opening doors for you. And that is what it's like to be Christ-like. Praying for discernment, praying for leadership through God, and then being that disciple and walking through. And we each have that in our lives, and we can do it. It doesn't happen overnight where, oh my goodness, overnight I am changing the world, but you never know what little thing leads to another. And my life is a perfect example of that. Many of you guys have been following me since I was sick, and now I healed from vaccine injury, which people say you can't do. And just making docuseries with Jonathan Otto, health coaching with Jonathan Otto, talking at events, just keep moving forward, speaking at the university. Jesus just keeps opening doors and putting opportunity in front of my life. And I just keep walking through, and I know that he will continue to do so because I have prayed, I have promised that I will follow him. And I know that's what Charlie Kirk did. And I know each and every one of us have that inside of us to do too. And that's how we honor Charlie, is by being that in our lives. That's how we honor Christ. That's how we honor God. That's how we honor and being grateful for this life that we have on earth, is to stand for truth, is to stand for honor and justice. And I'm so grateful to Charlie Kirk and his family for everything that they have done for our nation, for our futures, for the generation. I know that some people are, trying to say like, oh, like Charlie faked his death and there's some weird things going on. And I guess there will always be weird things going on with murder, because no one will fully understand except the person that did it, right? Or the people involved. So we will never fully understand. But there are some things that I know about Charlie, like his closeness to Christ. I know somebody that is every Sabbath, keeping the Sabbath and praying and honoring that time that they have with Christ, isn't going to go fake their death, put their children through a faked death, lie in the foot of the Lamb and go to their maker. Even if he lied about his death and he goes to his maker in 10 years and then he'll be judged. Nobody keeping the Sabbath that is praying is going to lie about their death like that. And under Christ, I just cannot believe that is true. And I guess I would ask anybody that is saying these things, have you met Charlie Kirk yourself? Do you know his heart and soul? I was blessed that I did get to meet him, and he blessed me, and I got to bless him. And so I just can't believe that he's lying, one thing too, I want to share about that as well, because I saw somebody stating like, there's no police around. Nothing happened after he got shot. Let me tell you something that's really along those lines that I did notice, that I felt even when I was at the event in October 2024 at my university in Nevada. I did feel pretty unsafe because there were no police around. And that's not because of Charlie Kirk. He had to pay for his own private security. And they were there also in October in Nevada. I saw his private security. I saw the ex-military men that were his security. And I also looked around and saw that there were no police, because they do not protect red Republicans, Christians. They are not protecting us at the universities. The no police thing isn't because of Charlie Kirk. That is because of the university, the states, the community that's supposed to be there, having the security at the schools. That is non-existent, and that has to be addressed. And I will keep addressing things like this, because there should have been sheriffs at all of his, and police at every event that he goes to at the university. But they're not going to protect him. They're not going to protect anybody standing for truth. Only Jesus will protect us. And it may take our life, but that doesn't mean that we're still not under Jesus's protection. I will die for, now I understand, right? Because I've been taught that through life. Are we going to be a Simon that, turns away from honoring our Christian duty and stating, yes, I'm a Christian. Yes, I'm standing for Jesus. Will we to the down now, or to the death? Is that's what's happening now? It's so sad that we are here. I've done everything, and so is Charlie, everything that we can possibly do to fight for our future. We have to keep going, guys. It's so important, more than ever. And yeah, I know, I can't believe this has happened. And so I want to show you guys the full length video of what when I met Charlie, because it shows some of the character that he has instead of some of these little clips. You guys can see a little bit longer of a video. And then I have some little clips that I wanted to share as well too. And I see Donna, so nice to see you. And she also got to see Charlie Kirk at, it looks like Cal State Long Beach University Long Beach in May. That's such a blessing. I'm so glad. Huge conservative support, and surprising for Long Beach. And I have to agree. And that's what they want us to believe, that, everybody is agreeing with the Democrats and nobody is for the Republicans. They want us to believe that. But when you actually get to these events, even in a public place like the university, where there's Democrats and Republicans in such blue states like California and Nevada, you get out to these events in person and you see the red covered, you see the people hungry for truth. And so don't believe that everybody is a Democrat. And I could tell you that the tides are turning and more people are aware of truth. And I'm not saying I'm full-blown Republican. I would consider myself an independent, because I'm going to go for the truth over a party. But I am registered Republican, because I refuse to, I'm going to vote Republican over Democrats any day. But I really vote for Jesus. Who is going to be going for Jesus principles? That's where my vote is going, the best of my ability. I'm voting for Jesus. I wish Jesus was on the ticket. I would vote for him in a heartbeat. And so we must all just stand. We must all be Charlie Kirks now. We must all stand. I will continue to stand. There are meetings coming up. I'm going to show you guys that here in a second as well. Meetings that are happening at the university this week. But first, let's take this video is 15 minutes, so we're going to watch this whole video. I was thinking about doing bits and pieces, but I really don't want to cut them off because, you know, some of these short clips, you don't see a true character of somebody. So I'm going to play this whole thing for you guys. And I would love to hear, oh my goodness, Donna, she says here, I wrote Jesus in for president in 2024. Amen, Donna. That's what I want to do. That praise Jesus. Yes, that's exactly what we should be doing. I like that. Yep. And all right, guys, let's see if I can get over. And this is Charlie Kirk coming to University Nevada, Reno in 2024.
The government does not have any responsibility to distribute drugs.
Fair enough, fine. But it's not just, it's an extreme. They distribute drugs in San Francisco. In Portland, they don't enforce any drug laws. Now, I think you guys can all agree the dirtiness and the lack of safety in San Francisco, Portland, Seattle should be a cautionary tale that maybe widespread drug legalization is a really, really bad idea. Right. Yeah. Do you guys agree? Yeah. What is your response to that?
I don't have any response to that because I don't have the data on hand.
Fair enough. So, but it's not a data argument, though. Just take a road trip. I want you to drive through San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle anytime in the next couple of years. I want you to think about this conversation and ask yourself, is this the best we can do as a country? And is what we are doing working? Here's my perspective. We're the wealthiest country ever, where the young ladies in this audience probably don't feel safe walking the streets of San Francisco at night. Nor should you, right?
No.
And I think not even here. Yeah. And by the way, what a moral failure that you can't walk your own cities at night.
Yeah.
People say, Charlie, what are your politics? How about this? I want to be able to walk every major American city at night and enjoy it like my parents did and not have to worry about being raped, mugged, or shut down. And like whatever it takes to get that done, let's do that thing.
I think a partial solution to that is just more guns. I mean, if in California it wasn't illegal to own guns.
I do agree with that, sort of, but I think at some point, if people are showing a pattern of crime, they shouldn't be on the street, right? So if they're dealing drugs and smashing windows and they're holding up, you know, whatever, 7-Elevens, you should be in jail for a long time for those things. And what San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle have done is that they have no cash bail, they decriminalized it, and they basically, you could get out the same day you commit a crime. And again, I just think that this is not even political, but I guess the Republican Party is now the ambassador of this. It's so simple that if you don't feel safe in your own great cities, your leaders have failed you and they should all be
I already know the answer to that question.
Thank you.
One more thought about tariffs. I want to go back to my original.
Sure, I'm very much in favor of tariffs, yeah.
The costs are ultimately passed down to the consumer.
Not always. That's interesting. So why are pickup trucks so much cheaper in America than they are in Europe?
No idea.
Because they're made here. You know that we heavily tariff pickup trucks more than any other car coming into the country? So how do you avoid a tariff?
Produce it here.
Make it here. So what tariffs do is they're forcing functions for overseas companies to build factories here. See, you're only looking at tariffs through a one-dimensional DC Chamber of Commerce lens. The way that you tell a company, oh, avoid the tariff, build the factory in Nevada. Right. And so, for example, you guys probably, any parents own a Toyota pickup truck? Anybody? They're actually pretty good, yeah? Look at, there's a couple hands. Toyota builds all their pickup trucks here, and they avoid the 25% tariff. So it's not a tax. It actually incentivizes homeland production and more jobs for our country, and actually the price doesn't get passed on to the consumer.
I think hands down deregulation.
I tend to agree with that, but I also want to live in the real world, not fantasy world, and I think that also fundamentally you have a social contract to your people that, for example, if we have critical vitamin needs in this country, Most of our drugs are made in China. That's bad. Okay, like we don't have to overthink it. You don't need a chart. You don't need a graph. Bad that we don't make our own drugs. Okay, that 90% of all vitamin C is made in China. You need vitamin C to live. Literally, it's ascorbic acid. Make it here. So anyway, we could agree to disagree on that. I think tariffs are great forcing functions, especially if you're a wealthy country. Tariffs are really good if you're wealthy and the incumbent power.
Okay.
God bless you. Are you voting for Trump?
No.
Who are you voting for? Chase Oliver?
Yeah.
But why?
He's the best candidate on the field. For sure.
So you're going to vote for someone who can't win?
Yes, because my vote doesn't matter.
But if your vote doesn't matter, why vote at all?
It's going to matter more if I vote for the candidate with the least amount of votes proportionally larger. If our candidate hits the 5% threshold, that's kind of the goal.
Why?
Natural federal.
What's that going to do?
What?
Matching federal funds from the U.S. government, which will make our party wealthier and be more competitive.
So let me just be clear. So do you think that there's, from the values you care about, which is liberty, yeah, and make sure you're talking to the mic, is there no material difference to your life between Trump and Kamala?
Oh yeah, Trump way better than Kamala. Yeah, Kamala's pure evil. Kamala is pure evil.
No, it's okay. So, but you're in a battleground state. You can go do your 5% thing a different time. Isn't it probably worth against like being drafted to World War III? Just suck it up, put on the MAGA hat, and vote for Trump.
Yes.
You'll think about it.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I have 20 minutes hard, guys, so we got to go fast, okay?
Thank you.
You guys asking for a hat or a question? Okay, let's go.
Hi, my name is Gloria, Sharlein. I'm faculty here. I was COVID vaccine injured. I helped in the mandates in June 2022. I've been speaking up about vaccines here for long, but everybody here, our state is brainwashing us all on the truth about vaccines and what's in them and what it's caused. I've come in contact with parents here that have lost their children to the vaccines, and our state is not acknowledging any of us. I had to go out of our country to get help with my vaccine injury. And that's what is going on. And yeah, you can talk to about vaccine injury around here, and nobody understands.
What symptoms do you have?
I actually, working with this doctor outside of our country, I was able to detox 100% of all of the vaccines plus toxins from my body for the last 40 years out. And that's what it took, is to completely detox my body. But within hours of that vaccine, I had an induced menstrual cycle. I was bleeding 16 plus days a month for 9 months. I had heart palpitations, high blood pressure. I was chronically ill for years. I couldn't take care of my daughter properly. I couldn't take her to sports. My fiance had to help me with everything. I through that chronically ill, even years after, before I could actually find help, I was risk of hysterectomy, risk of stroke, risk of heart attack. And I didn't listen to them, though. I didn't listen to the lies. Don't listen to the lies.
So this is why we need Bobby Kennedy and why we need Donald Trump. So do everything you can to get Donald Trump elected, because there needs to be widespread vaccine justice in this country. I'm totally in agreement. God bless you.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
God bless you too. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. We have, okay, come on up. We have like 18 minutes, and then the chancellor, I think, speaks at 2:15. So we are done at 2, guys, okay? We are done. So please understand. At 2 o'clock, we are done, right? Okay, let's go.
I don't believe that Trump will be better for the economy. I believe, just please let me finish. I believe that he will drop the interest rates again. And I know they say that the president doesn't have an impact on that. I don't believe that's true. Otherwise, why would it decrease every single time before an election? You just kind of, you can think it out yourself. But I don't think that he will actually be better for the economy because of that. I don't think that he did a good job during the COVID crisis, dropping interest rates and giving out a bunch of free money to Americans. I feel was bad for the economy, and that was what led to mass inflation. I will say, though, I don't believe that Biden handled it as well as I would have liked. I think he should have shot interest rates higher, faster, and then he would have dropped them. He'd been able to drop them quicker, and thus not have the job crisis we're having now.
I'm just curious, why are you against lower interest rates?
It's the lower interest rates that will eventually lead to inflation, and I think that dropping them right now is bad.
That's fair. I under Trump. So let me just ask you a very simple question. If you don't believe that Trump will be better for the economy, who was better under 4 years of an independent analysis? Trump for 4 years or Biden-Harris for 4 years? Who managed the economy better?
I don't think either necessarily manage it better. What I do believe in is
that's not an answer. No, better. It's not either than better. You have to rank one.
Okay, then I'll do Biden.
What? Now give me 3 reasons why.
The main one and the only one I can really give you is Lena Khan. I believe that what Lena Khan is doing is incredible for America. She's banning what's the word? She's banning non-compete. She's suing Google. She's doing things that I believe will genuinely improve America and fight the issue of monopolies, which is a plague on capitalism.
Fair enough. Do you ever want to buy a home?
Yes.
So under Trump, it required $75,000 of annual income to buy a home. How much does it require now?
I don't know the numbers on this. I can't fact check you on this.
Yes, it's $145,000 a year, and it's Zillow.com. It's not my numbers. You guys can fact check me on it. So Trump, $75,000 a year. Harris, Biden, $145,000 a year. Why?
I would say part of that is because of what Trump did. Dropping the interest rate so much is bad. It makes us people have more money and are able to.
It was $75,000 his last day in office.
But the impacts of what he does roll into the next election. I think even you can agree with that. The impact of what Biden is doing now, if Trump gets elected, will impact his first few years.
I actually think that argument is somewhat overrated. I think that in a technological world, our economy moves much faster than people give it credit for. They say, oh, what you do 1 year is impact 4 years later. But for Trump, we had the best economy in American history. You guys actually were having your wages go up faster than any time in American history.
Yep.
Under Biden-Harris, are you cool with how expensive everything is? Do you feel it?
No.
What?
You don't feel it?
I'm not gonna. Let me talk. I'm not gonna lie and act like I'm not privileged. I am. I have not actually noticed much. I'm not gonna lie. I won't sit here and act like
you have to tell me. Are you a student here?
Yes.
Okay. What do you pay for?
I mainly just pay for my food. That's about it.
That's nearly doubled in price, right? So let me ask you one final question. 75% of Americans believe the Trump economy is better than the Harris-Biden economy. Why?
My guess would be that under Trump, prior to COVID, it was a bullish economy pretty much. Money was free. There were PPP loans going out like crazy. I mean, money is free in the sense that you could borrow with low interest rates. That's what I mean by that. I don't know if that's something you guys understand, but that's what I mean. If money is cheap, then the economy is naturally easy to make money in. We were in a bullish market like the last probably 15 years, in part, I believe, because of how low interest rates were so long and then dropped even lower. I also believe that we're kind of coming into, we're getting what we get for that. You can't just give out free money for that long and then expect nothing.
Fair enough. So then tell me, what evidence do you have to support the argument that Kamala would be better to solve that coming issue?
The only thing I'd say is that I just believe in Lena Khan. If I believe in Lena Khan and what she will be able to do, and I know that if Trump is elected, she will no longer be. I will say, though, Kamala is elected, then even her wealthy donors want her to get rid of Lena Khan because she's targeting
You're talking like the
companies.
head of the antitrust division at the Department of Justice? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Well, the FTC.
Yeah, that's really interesting that that's your argument. But okay, I guess. I mean, I think owning a home is more important than Lena Khan, but we'll agree to disagree.
I don't think that if Trump is elected, owning a home would become better. I think that.
But it was.
Well,
this is the thing. This is the fallacy, is that people say, I don't think Trump was. We already know what Trump did. And for 4 years, everyone here was wealthier. Everyone here was better off. We had less poverty, higher gains. Under Biden, people are suffering. Biden-Harris. There's no guesswork.
Do you mind if I get my comment off without? I just want to get off what I was trying to say real quick. Do you mind?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not trying to be rude. I don't believe that homes will be cheaper under Trump, nor do I think that they will be cheaper under Kamala Harris. We are going into a period of time where I think that no matter what, the economy will have to go through some kind of
the purchasing of homes without deregulating the building of homes, definitionally raising the prices of homes. So it seems like their policies are geniusly created to destroy the American economy. And then they go out in public and they'll say, we've destroyed the economy, so now you're poor. So now vote for us, we'll give you free money, and you have to do that because you're poor. So how can we have disagreements in good conscience when it just seems like they're totally anti-America?
Yeah, I mean, look, the Democrat Party wants the downfall and the destruction of the United States of America. And you see that through their border policy, through war, through the debts, the deficits. We have to just try to win an election and make sure they never get to power again. But the Democrat Party hates America. And they have for quite a while.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Can I get that hat?
Yes. Last question. Who wants it? Fight over it. All right. Last question. Go ahead. I'm not going to get in the middle of this. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Charlie, I'm a huge fan.
Yes.
So basically my question is, I'm a Trump supporter. Obviously you can tell. I feel like a lot of people, who are voting for Kamala Harris, they're not voting for Kamala Harris. They're voting against Trump. So I want to ask you, like, what is a good way to, like, end the Trump hate? Because, like, I know people who are like, oh, I'm voting for Kamala. I just can't vote for Trump. So what's a good way to be like?
So yes, I was talking to someone behind you. The only way is to win. These people are deranged. And I mean, I'll give you an example. I can point to you to thousands of tweets after Trump was shot of Democrats that were hoping that he died.
Yep.
Thousands. I can show you the tweets of people that joked about it saying, well, aim better next time. Or top level people in the Democrat Party that were saying after the second Trump assassination attempt, oh, not a big deal here. Just another day at the golf course. And so the only way that this gets better is we win, they lose, and we govern the country and build our movement into a permanent governing bloc in this country. That's the only way that it happens. God bless you. Thank you.
God bless.
1 second. Guys, if you have not yet changed your registration in Nevada, please do so. Are you guys all registered to vote? Yes, here in Nevada?
Yeah.
All of you? Yes. We're back there. I'm going to come and say hi to you guys. God bless you guys. God bless Nevada. Thank you so much.
God bless.
God bless you, Charlie Kirk. And when you guys see his character, he just, it's okay to disagree. And he would just say, yeah, we disagree with one another. But one thing I admired the most about Charlie Kirk that day is, especially if you're a person that's standing for vaccine injury, you know that you get censored, you get shut down. You almost have to, if you ever get a chance to have a microphone, you have to constantly get out as much as you can before you're shut down. And that's what I did this day. I just kept speaking as I spoke really fast and got out as much as I could, because that's what I was expecting, was to get shut down. Nobody wants to hear about vaccine injuries. Sweep those under the rug. And so that's what I was expecting. But what did Charlie Kirk do? He asked me questions. I remember in that moment when he asked me, you were vaccine injured? What were your side effects? Nobody has ever asked me that in power while I had a mic. Nobody has ever asked me to further explain what I've gone through about vaccine injury. Nobody, not one person. Except, the medical freedom doctors that let me on stage and Jonathan Otto. But outside of that, when I talk to state legislators and university board meetings, nobody ever asked for any more information. Nobody ever asked the question. But Charlie did. Charlie wanted to know more about my vaccine injury. He wanted to know about how that affected me. And he wanted me to share that with others. And so I was just always drawn to him after that, because he did that. And when I listen back to it, I can hear myself. I calmed down when he started to ask me questions. And it's probably also because his energy is actually very calming. And it gives everybody the space to speak their mind. And so I was grateful to meet him that day. And it's interesting in this video, I don't know if any of you guys noticed, but there is the same gentleman that is standing behind him in this video with me was the same security gentleman with him in Utah. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but the gentleman in this video back in October is doing almost exactly what he did in Utah. And so to me, when I watch this back, I don't think that there's suspicious activity with this man. Like, they were military personnel, security personnel over him, ex-military. And so I don't, I don't think that there's anything shady because he's doing exactly what he did that day. So, but that's just my opinion. And I'm grateful. Charlie Kirk gave me this hat. And you know what? I did. I wore it around the university. And then the air becomes like, like we have to be scared or feel a certain way to wear Republican hats. And you know what? I'm not going to let them fearmonger me anymore. I'm just not. I think I'm going to start wearing this hat every day at the university again. And I didn't know what this was on it, but this is the Turning Point logo. That's, Charlie Kirk got to put his Turning Point logo on Trump hats. And so now I know Charlie Kirk's Turning Point. I now know what that is. And I know his wife is going to do everything she can to continue his work. And so I'm going to actually get involved and start some chapters. And that is how we now get to move forward and continue to honor our promises to Christ, continue to honor Charlie Kirk and all of those who have died in this silent war, because that is what it is. We are at war. My brothers and sisters are dying at my sides because over vaccines, over toxins, over lies and deceit. And so we must all stand, pray for discernment to see through this stuff, because that is the only way that you make it through is with Christ. And no matter where that leads, that's where you must call and answer. And so I promise that I will do that. I will continue standing. I will continue going through any door that Christ puts in before me. And that starts with going to Turning Point USA. And this is something that we all can do, is go to Turning Point USA. And you can join a chapter, start a chapter. Students can come here. You can see where chapters are, go to resources, chapter materials. If you are a student in Northern Nevada and you would like to start a chapter, please reach out to me. If you need help doing that, if you need help joining a chapter and you're in any state, reach out to me. I will help you do that. I am going to starting a chapter in my area, or trying to find students that want to start chapters and help them do that. I'm not sure if I can as a faculty member of a university or what. I will be reaching out to Turning Point USA and seeing what I can do to help this continue, because Charlie Kirk was so effective at the university. He made such a difference, and I loved that difference. We need more of that. And I'll do anything I can to support what he was doing, because I saw it for my own eyes, the difference that he made, and all the people that he did. I watched him turn people's, and it wasn't changing their minds. He just opened their mind to realize, like, get out, to break through the propaganda and break through the brainwashing, which at one point we all had to do. I remember when I had a breakthrough of the brainwashing, and it was because I got vaccine injured, and that, helped me get out of the brainwashing, because it pushed me into research and knowing the truth. And so that's what we just have to stay in the truth. And maybe Turning Point USA isn't for you. There's other things that you can do. Or you turn into like a person like me, and you wear 10 hats, and you get activated, and you get going like me in the university, on health coaching, doing docuseries with Jonathan Otto, making myself available to get into the state legislators, traveling the United States to any event that is possible for me to get to be able to make a difference. I ask you, what are you doing? What are you doing in your life to make a difference? Are you still ignorantly living your life for fulfillment and pleasure? Because where is that getting you? Before one day it's all going to be gone, and the military is all over our streets, and you're going to wish that you joined up and stood for something valuable, like our future and our children's future. So I really truly ask each and every one of you to look in your hearts and to pray about it, and to ask Jesus, what is your purpose in this time? Because we all have a purpose. And we all, too, have not been told everything. Each and every one of us holds a key. And that's why we're called to come together, to share our knowledge with one another and to learn from one another, because we each have been given a piece of this this puzzle called life. And Jesus has made it so we're meant to work together through this in love and unity. And that is just absolutely how I am going to move forward as well. Standing for truth and honor through love and unity. And so what's going on here in the state of Nevada at the University of Nevada, Reno this week, the week after we come through a week with multiple killings, multiple shootings, the stabbing on the train, Charlie Kirk's death at a university. And what is it that my university is going to do? Let's see. Because now I'm back to watching the agenda meetings all the time now, because I already know that they're going to get sneaky and we have to be ready for them. So up here in northern Nevada, and actually we're kind of fortunate here in the state of Nevada. The NSHE board, the school board over the universities in the state of Nevada, it is one board that oversees 9 universities. So if you are anywhere near the 4 locations in the state of Nevada, anybody can show up at any of these 4 locations in the state of Nevada and give public comment for the NSHE board, for the university boards. It is so effective. Anybody in these areas that want to be involved, even some of the locations like Las Vegas, even if you're in another state and you could get to Las Vegas, you could speak at these public comments. Or even Utah, I think, is close to, there's an Elko location. So if you're on the border out in Utah, you could get to Elko location and give public comment. But it is a place to get voices heard. I can tell you that there are also good men on this board that get outvoted. These men still reach out to me and ask for help. They still ask for voices. So our voices matter. And there's other people on this board that are completely in the brainwashed lies. And so it's up to us to bring research, truth, and honor to these meetings, and, point out it's the time of allowing people to just do what they want because we are Christians and love you. And that time is over, because that is what got us into this mess. So we're no longer going to accept false things as reality and truth. And so it's interesting. Last week, I got an email saying that they're going to have a board meeting on Tuesday on violence on let's see. This is the email notification I got on Tuesday, September 16th at 10 a.m. And the location says Las Vegas, but here over the video conferencing. So they do 4 locations. that you can do public comment and you get heard through the whole state of Nevada. This is why I get so effective speaking in these board meetings, because it's for 9 universities. And so here, meeting of the task force on power-based violence at institutions of higher education. And then when I go to the higher education board meeting, upcoming meetings, you know what? It's not here. I find it very interesting that here on their website, I can't find that meeting anywhere. I had to go back to my email and make sure, like, did I get that date right? Where is this meeting? Are they being that sneaky? That's why it's just more imperative than ever. I wasn't going to go speak because, you know, of course, a little bit of fear came into my life and maybe I shouldn't be doing this. It is so dangerous. Look what happened to Charlie Kirk. Look what he's not the only one that has, you know, been murdered because of these things. And then I said, no, I'm not going to let that fear take over my life. And I said, Jesus, I'm going to trust you instead. And so if you're going to put opportunities in front of me, just like always my promise, then I'm going to step through those opportunities. I'm going to step through the doors. Whatever happens, Jesus, it's in your hands. And I accept that. And, but I know too that God is good. God keeps us safe. God's will be done over my life. And so whatever happens, my end is the same. I will be in heaven. I will be by Jesus's side. And that makes me happy, fulfilled, and great. So from here to there, I am going to do my best to fulfill my promise to Jesus and do everything I can to help our nation be the loving nation created under God as it once was. And at least the best of our ability. Nothing is perfect, I know, but we can do so much better. Like Charlie said, we could do so much better than what we're doing now. And I want to be part of that. I want to be part of doing better for our future. And so I just found it very interesting. No information here on this September 16th meeting, but you know, I'm assuming it's happening. I'll get to work tomorrow, and let's see. I bet this meeting is still happening on Tuesday. And now, what do? They keep us so busy that we can't even get to go speak. So what am I going to be forced to do is taking PTO, which is fine. And that's what it takes for me. I have to use up my own PTO to go do things for the movement, to go do things for, to go speak here for our future. I think maybe in the last 4 years, I've taken 2 trips that were actually for me. All the other trips I've been on were helping. Yes, I got to learn a lot, and I'm so grateful to be at the events too. But it was also time away from my family, time used from my vacationing, and that's all fine. It's fine, but that's what it takes. And I ask you guys to please join me and do the same in your lives, so we have a future to fight for. Because as it is, they're destroying America. They're destroying the universities. They're destroying the medical system, everything. So we really have to get into meetings like this. So I will be in this meeting. And now let me show you what they're actually doing at this meeting. So this meeting, the Task Force Power-Based Violence at Institutions of Education in Reno, Nevada, in the state of Nevada. So this is actually, even though I am in Reno, this bill they are trying to pass, or whatever this is, the bill against, it's an assembly bill that they're going to talk about. It's kind of crazy because this is state legislator assembly bill, and she must, because it's just so crazy what they're doing. So they are trying to redact Assembly Bill 465, and I'm so sorry, guys. We're not, can't see it so well. But what this bill does is, this is an act relating to education, creating immunity from civil liability for school district, charter school, or institutions within the Nevada system higher education. Certain actions, and so this is what they are trying to do. They're taking this bill and they are redacting everything. So this bill makes a school district or charter school immune from civil liability or incidences of harassment by pupils or staff if it demonstrates that it is established, adequately published, and enforced certain policies, procedures, and training concerning harassment, and provided and requires such a policy to include certain provisions of this bill set forth similar provisions for institutions within the system. And then it just has everything crossed out. Everything, every page, they are trying to just cross everything out. And let's see here. This page has some stuff not crossed out. Let's see what they're going to leave in. Regardless of whether the complaint requests an investigation, I plan to deliver supportive measures to a complaint not later than 3 days after receiving the complaint of an alleged incident of harassment. Any corrective action that is necessary, appropriate, delivered promptly, and designed to for an alleged incident of harassment, stop any such incident, prevent the recurrence of any such incident, and remedy the effects of an incident. And so underneath that, what are they crossing out? I'll try to read under the cross out, but it says here, the board, and this is the part that they're trying to redact. And I mean, they're redacting all pages of it, but this is just this part, section 17. The Board of Trustees of each school district must designate at least one employee of the school district to serve as a confidential employee of the school district. A confidential employee designated pursuant to this section is not required to report incidences of harassment to a civil rights coordinator when an incident of harassment is disclosed and does not rise to the level of abuse or neglect for which a support is required. A confidential employee is not required to report the incident to law enforcement. So they're just going to hide things from you. But see what they are redacting out of this, even redacting that they're that's not going to happen. But the part that they also are taking out is that the board, each school district will have a designated employee of the school district to serve as a confidential employee. So now they're taking away that position. No longer are they going to have the confidential employee designated to let them know what's going on, even though I bet this designated employee was just pushing their stuff anyway, because that's what they do. And yep, a bunch of more crossed out pages deleted. So, you know, I'll be in the board meeting on Tuesday, and I think I'm going to wear my Charlie Kirk hat even. Actually, I think I'm not going to start with my Charlie Kirk hat and then put it on and see if they get any reactions, to show how much hate just by wearing this hat stirs up in people. And that's not because of me. I'm not being hateful. I'm just wearing a hat, man. Like, you know, loving people, speaking truth, not hating anyone. But I'm considered the hateful person in the situation. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. You guys can also go to YouTube and go to Nevada System Higher Education, I believe. I'm going to pull it up real quick. And that is where they have the live viewing. whoops, sorry about that if you heard that, guys. That's where they'll have the live meeting at. So all of these meetings are also live online, and the recordings will be there too, but you could go to YouTube, Nevada System of Higher Education, and then that will bring you up to these meetings. And just pray for me, you guys. You know, a lot of the comments that I've given, so they have public comment in the beginning, public comment in the end. A lot of times I've given public comment at the beginning, and this time I'm waiting to do it at the end and seeing what they all speak about, because the last time I spoke at the front, they said some crazy things after me, and I'm like, oh man, I want to speak on that. And so this time I'm going to wait and see if there's anything that is said during this meeting that I also need to bring up and speak about. So I'm going to go in there speaking about love and unity, and about some of the things that I've heard the university say that are false, that have created a place for violence, and how the university is 100% liable for that. And to take away liability from the university is crazy, because the university is the one telling us that we're supposedly safe there, when all of these shootings are happening at universities, at schools. So no, we are not safe. I could tell you it's actually the worst place. When I go to the university is actually when I feel the least safe in my community, because I know that's where they're forcing us not to be able to, we can't protect ourselves there. We have to rely on their protection, and then have them tell us that they're going to have no more liability for violence on their institution. And then does anybody even realize that this is going on? That they are trying to get the universities are trying to get themselves out of any liability for any violence. Do you guys know that you're putting your children in situations where the university has no liability for what happens to your children? So that is what's going on. And so we must call out all of these incidences that they are creating a place for violence, that they are creating a place that is not safe. And so that's what I'm going to do on Tuesday. And I suggest everybody look at the university board meeting notes, look at the state legislative meeting notes in your area, and get into the meetings. Take a look at the Turning Point USA and see if you could get yourself into a chapter or start a chapter with Charlie Kirk's organization. But whatever you do, just please do something. Don't just sit around doing nothing anymore. It's going to take all of us to stand together. And if you need help on what's that look like in your life, or, how can I get involved? Reach out to me. Reach out to anybody that you see on my platform. We have so many of us out there in our groups that are out there doing things for others, and that are helping for medical freedom, helping that we have the freedom to choose, because we absolutely can't lose that. And freedom of religion. We should all be able to speak the name of Jesus without feeling like we're going to be persecuted. I should be able to wear this hat around the university and not feel like, oh, people are going to hate me, or I might get hurt wearing this hat. I shouldn't have to worry about that. And like you heard the people in the video say, the women it is dangerous where I live. We are not safe at night. You can't walk around here at night. I don't know when's the last time people walked around Reno at night without a group, or not feeling like you're safe. Donna, I know Donna in SoCal. I know she's dealing with it. Not as safe as it used to be by far. California is really hurting right now. You guys have to be in the state legislative meetings and the school meetings. Do you guys know that California is trying to push laws that you no longer need an ID to get kids out of school? That anybody can walk in and get your student out of, and then all of a sudden now we're going to have kidnapped children? and who knows what happens, and bring your kid back with who knows. And that's okay. But you want me to believe that you're looking out for my safety, but you're going to let anyone check out a kid from school. How is that looking out for the child's safety, the parent's safety, anyone's safety? It's not. You're not looking out for our safety. So, and Donna's saying that law passed. That law already passed, everybody. Do you guys know that? Living in California, those of you that have children going to school in California, did you know that now the law has passed? Anybody can go in and check your child out of the school with no ID. So I couldn't ever go live back there. What are they doing? This kind of stuff, man. Everybody has to get into the meetings. Everybody has to speak up. We are all called now. Whenever you have that time and cross in your daily life, because I see it in my life. I know we all have this happening in our lives. You're going to have something come up in your life, and you're going to have the intuition, and God's going to speak to you, and God's going to say, I need you to stand for me now. I need you to stand for the children. I need you to speak up and speak truth. You're going to feel it like a burning fire inside of your body. And that's the moment that you have to take action. And when you don't, that's when regret comes in. That's when you see like, man, maybe I could have made a difference. Don't wonder, maybe I could have. When you feel that fire inside you and Jesus speaking to you to stand for truth, it could be a little thing even to something big. Every little thing leads to bigger things. And so just take those moments and listen to your intuition and do what's right, because you can be the next person ending mandates, changing lives. Our future depends on us all working together. And so I just truly believe that. And I just want to say too, thank you for your stand and for your voice, for being here with me in Hidden Knowledge Uncensored. Thank you for getting into the board meetings and making a difference, standing for truth, getting involved with Charlie Kirk's Turning Point, and just also move forward in love. And that's what I am going to take, even when I go speak at this board meeting that is outrageous, and who knows what they're going to say that's really going to aggravate me. But I am going to do everything I can to be Christ-like and to move in love, and for all my brothers and sisters, because we all love one another. So nobody can tell us any different. Like, everybody here, we've all been through so much together in the last 5 years. I know that we all love one another, and I'll stand up for you to the very end, just like I know a lot of you stand up for me to the very end too. And nobody can tell me that I love anybody any less or more. I've done everything I can to just help as many people as possible in the last 5 years. So I'm just grateful to everybody out there doing the same. And now is the opportunity that we all have to do that as well. We all can just make a big difference. Get out into these meetings, get out into the universities, see what's going on. If you don't know what's going on, start looking at these state legislators. Start looking at your school handbooks if you have children in some of these states. I could not even imagine. Donna's saying that she doesn't think Newsom has signed the bill, but he will soon. But we saved charter and homeschools this week. Did the charter and homeschools not pass that bill? Is it only for public, Donna? That's just outrageous, guys. I couldn't imagine having a young child in school in California. I just couldn't do it. Plus, I wouldn't also move back nor live in any state that doesn't allow religious exemptions, because they're forced vaccinating all children. So I couldn't live in any state that's doing any of those things. And let me see, I think there's one other place too. Everybody can go to support Charlie Kirk and his family. You could go to the charliekirkshowstore.com. And that is another great place where you can buy any kind of, you could get the shirt that he was wearing when he passed, his freedom shirt. I bet you might be able to get some of these hats or some other kind of shirts and whatnot. So this Charlie Kirk's show store.com is going to help Charlie Kirk's family, and it's also going to help his family keep his movement going, because that's nothing more than what they want, is to have his work to keep going. And as we start to close, I just wanted to say too that one of the things that, everybody probably has seen video of Charlie Kirk stating that, what does he want to be remembered by? And it's for his faith and his courage. And that is just such a blessing, to be able to be remembered by those things. And so that is how I'm going to remember Charlie, is by his courage and his faith and his love and support for everyone, asking questions and just showing that kindness and grace to others. And so that's why I love the hashtag We Are All Charlie Kirk. Just like we are all Jesus Christ, we all need to be love and caring to one another together. We have to stop the hate and violence and move forward with love. And so that's just what I'm going to do. And I'm a little bit nervous about Tuesday, but now that I've talked it through with you guys, I'm not so nervous anymore. And I truly pray for our future, and that, that we do see less violence and that we do see love overall. And just keep going, guys. We have to keep going. Yep. Now the purpose and is just stronger. Yep. We just can't stop. And there's one more little thing that I wanted. This kind of shows the milestones that Charlie has accomplished in over a decade at his young age. And then I was going to read today's devotional, and we'll close it up today. But Charlie Kirk, we love you, Charlie, and we are just so grateful. There are so many of us here on Hidden Knowledge Uncensored that have seen you in person, and we do love you, and we pray for you and your family always. So here's his.
Even aside, I wonder if by continuing to lie, they aren't about everything. They're driving all of us a little crazy.
Okay, guys. just so heartbreaking, brings tears to my eyes still. And he just did so much with his life. And I just hope that I could fulfill my purpose with Jesus and just keep accomplishing and doing so much as well. Everything that we can for our future, for our children's future, for Jesus. And I just ask that we all pray for his family, and we pray that we all can have peace and that we all are under Jesus's wing with protection and love and peace. So as we close today, September 14th, idols of the heart, Son of man, these leaders have set up idols in their heart. They have embraced things that will make them fall into sin. Why should I listen to their requests? Ezekiel 14:3. God has a strong message for Israel. He told Ezekiel that he would not entertain the people's requests because they had set up idols in their hearts, which separated them from him. He wasn't talking about physical objects, but something of a different dimension. What did he mean? Possessions, prestige, position, power, self-entertainment, rules, religion, internet, sports, hobbies. Whatever consumes our time could become an idol of the heart. Maybe it's time to do some soul searching. What squanders our time, our thoughts, and distracts our priorities? Are we embracing things that will lead us into sin? At times, we wonder why God doesn't seem to be listening to our prayers. Is it possible that there's an idol in the way? That's such a soothing devotional to end on. And it is just so true. This is exactly what we've been talking about, is, not getting away from the distractions and getting involved into purpose with your life and getting involved into purpose for Jesus with your life. And we all have it. We all have the ability. And maybe some of you guys are longing for that, because I never connected searching and the purpose and direction and career and fulfilling in my life. And I should have been fulfilling Jesus, and all of the other stuff comes. When you work on all the other stuff without Jesus, everything starts crashing. But then when you have your center with Jesus, he will bring the opportunity to you. He will bring the purpose. He will bring anything that you need. And so when I got myself Christ-centered, that's what led me even years. I got Christ-centered, and then it took years of purpose and direction and Jesus leading me. And then I met Jonathan Otto, and then I healed, and now I'm just helping more and more people. And Jesus keeps filling me with purpose and opportunities. And so I know that we all have that. And so we can just stop with the distractions and stop with the things that don't matter and get into fulfilling your life with purpose. And it all starts too with taking care and valuing your temple, because without a valued and healthy temple, then you're not going to be able to do any of the other work that Jesus needs you to do as well. And that's why also here on Hidden Knowledge Uncensored, we mostly focus on healing, because that's my goal, is to help everybody get healthy so that they can fulfill their purpose. And I just love you guys. I am truly, truly blessed and grateful to be hosting this podcast and to be helping as many people as possible. And I'm so grateful to you, Donna, for being here with me, and everybody out there who has joined today and every week. You guys join me. I truly am so grateful. And there's another quick announcement. This week also this weekend is Healing Regenesis, episodes 10 through 12 rewatching. So if you guys want to watch Healing Regenesis, I'm blessed, and Megan McDonald, Brother Sage, and I are all in episode 12, part 2. If you guys want to learn more about urine therapy, but the whole series is wonderful. Chlorine dioxide, red light, nutrition, natural healing. It's such a beautiful series. You guys can all watch it for free. And Healing for the Ages is coming up next month. If you guys don't have your ticket, I would love to see you in person. But if you can't come in person, get the virtual ticket. You guys can use coupon code Gloria to get a discount on your virtual ticket. And if you're there in person, please come up to me and give me a hug, take a picture. I would love to meet you guys. And for my friends who are coming back again, I can't wait to see you guys again too. And so everybody out there, stay strong, stay blessed, and stay purposeful. And everything will be okay. Jesus will guide you through. I promise he's guiding me, and he'll guide you too. All right, guys. I love you guys. Take care, and God bless.